my name is Brapot, and welcome back to my channel. Now, I'd like to talk to you about a bit of a discussion me and my friends have been having recently. Now, my friends and I have recently gotten into the debate over who would win in a fight, a grizzly bear or a gorilla. Now, on the surface level, this is kind of a silly question, and I think it's kind of funny how far people have come in a society and how kind of bored we get, really. Like, think about it this way. How many times recently have you gotten into a debate over which would win in a fight, right? Like, think, who would win in a fight? Goku versus Superman, or Goku versus 30 million SpongeBobs, or like, you know, even like more boring stuff like who wins, Chuck Norris and Bruce Lee, or like Chuck Norris and Goku. It's a bit of a silly debate. The one I want to talk about today, at least to me, started off kind of silly and kind of lighthearted because I believe that my friends were smarter than they were. My friends know what we're talking about here, but for those not in the know, I recently brought up the argument of who would win in a fight, a bear or a gorilla, specifically a grizzly bear or a silverback gorilla. Now, my friends, my wonderful, wonderful friends, you know who you are. Some of them have stated that the gorilla would win, claiming that the gorilla is both bigger, faster, smarter, stronger. One of my friends even made the proclamation that it would grab a stick and beat this bear to death. No. So I'm here to make the correct point that the grizzly bear demolishes the gorilla in both size, speed, strength, and every point that matters except bite force and intelligence. Like, I don't understand how many people think, or how many people put intelligence above this pedestal that like, it's if you're smarter than your opponent, you can just beat him. No, that's not really how it works. I'm smarter than a semi-truck, but it doesn't help when the semi-truck is both bigger, meaner, and faster and coming at me at 70 miles an hour on the interstate, you know what I mean? With that, I'd like to get into the points of both arguments. Really look at the size and strength, the abilities, the intelligence of both animals, which animals have a higher upside, higher downside, see which animal really has the advantages in which categories, and then finally, ultimately, come out the winner. Spoiler alert, it's the bear. There's no way the bear doesn't win. So let's just get into this. According to azanimals.com, the gorilla is very fast, quite strong, and has a longer arm span, but it is unlikely that a silverback gorilla could defeat the much larger and faster grizzly bear in a fair fight. The first point I want to bring up is size. Size in the animal kingdom basically means everything. If you are the bigger, meaner creature, you're probably the more dominant one anyways, and this is no different when it comes to bears and gorillas. The average grizzly bear tops out at about 700 pounds, with the largest ever recorded being 1 ton. For an animal that scientific name is called Ursus horribilis, literally meaning the horrible bear, it's starting to live up to its name. Gorillas are no slouches either though. The largest ever shot and killed was 589 pounds in Cameroon, which, for going up against a bear that averages about 700, is definitely punching over your weight class, but not to a point that is undesirable. It's certainly a more even weight class generally. Next, let's get into speed. According to MeatEater11.com, grizzly bears are the fastest of the ursuride family and can sprint at top speeds of about 35 to 40 miles per hour, with the fastest even going up to 50 miles per hour. While they can't maintain this top speed very long, their ability to sprint fast and maintain high speeds makes them exceptionally effective predators. That's quite fast, especially when you compare it to a gorilla's, by comparison, pretty measly 25 miles per hour. So far, the grizzly has the advantage in both speed and size. Let's get into the reason why that gorillas just flat out lose this fight. For one, a lot of people want to point out to the fact that gorillas have opposable thumbs and they can grab sticks and stuff. And while that is true that they do have opposable thumbs, have you ever seen one? They look like this. They're nubs. They're like this. This really leads to gorillas having very limited tool usage. While they can pick stuff up, it's pretty limited as to what they can actually do with it. so it really wouldn't become a major factor in a gorilla fight, much less in a grizzly fight. Another thing that a lot of gorilla apologists really want to bring up is that, oh, but a gorilla they can hit so much harder. Have you ever seen a gorilla fight? It looks like this. That's not a coordinated strike, it's just flailing its arms around. I don't see how that's gonna do much damage. Granted, getting hit upside the head with that thing is not gonna feel nice, but against a bear, I really don't see how that's gonna help. The one thing that a gorilla really has an advantage over a grizzly is bite force. A grizzly typically tops out at about 1,000 psi, while a gorilla tops out about 1,300 psi. Well, on the surface, that's a big fucking difference in terms of bite force. Let me explain why that doesn't really do anything to a gorilla. And to do this, I want to talk about honey badgers. Now, honey badgers are these little critters that live in around southern Africa. They eat honey, obviously. They eat small rodents, insects, snakes, reptiles, generally stuff like that. Now, what makes them so interesting is their defense mechanisms against bigger predators. Now, size-wise, power-wise, bite force-wise, doesn't matter. These things should get packed up by lions and much bigger things in the African savannah. Blah, 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 blah. These things should be demolished, but the one reason they're not is their very, very loose skin. To demonstrate the effectiveness and really like how insane loose skin is as a defense mechanism, I have two things. First, I want to show you this regular grape. Because of its tight skin, it doesn't really have any defense against a creature that has a much bigger bite force. And now, we have a grape, but it's going to be wrapped up in this very loose tablecloth. Now, because this paper towel is a lot looser on this grape skin, if I go to bite down on it, I'm not gonna get a whole lot. It's gonna be much less effective because the skin is so loose. I can't bite down hard enough. I got paper in my teeth. This kinda sucks. Loose skin, being a defense mechanism of honey badgers, is actually a pretty strong one. Because of their loose skin, lions and leopards and cheetahs can't really bite down on them very hard. The skin, all they really get is a mouthful of skin and no real meat. Same thing applies to a grizzly versus gorilla fight. Even though the gorilla does have the much bigger bite force, a grizzly's loose skin and thick fur really wouldn't give the gorilla any advantage. It would really just get a mouthful of fur and everything. And I haven't really even begun to discuss the gorilla has 4-inch claws. Like zoinks, man. Another thing I want to bring up is the fact that gorillas are not apex predators. They eat plants, they eat leaves, occasionally a bug or a berry. They can eat meat, but they generally prefer not to. They share the forest with jaguars. 9 times out of 10, the jaguar generally wins that fight. Again, I want to bring up the loose skin. See, if 2 bears go at it, for example, right? Notice how one bear, even with 4-inch claws and massive teeth, if it bites down on another bear, generally not going to come away with a huge issue. Now, if a jaguar with similar claw length goes up against a gorilla with very tight-fitting skin, it's going to end up like that grape. It's going to be torn to shreds. It's not coming out of this fight. There's no feasible advantage. I'm going off script here. I realize I'm going off script here, but there is no shot, no semblance of reality that a gorilla 9 times out of 10 wins this fight. A grizzly just will tear it to shreds. I'm not ignoring the fact that a gorilla has massively higher intelligence than a bear, okay? But like I said before, I'm smarter than a semi. It doesn't help when the semi has claws and teeth and is running at me at 50 miles an hour. I'm still going to get demolished. Now, like, granted, the maximum strength of a gorilla hasn't really been measured, but that I attribute that more to the fact that you can't really measure the strength of a gorilla. You can only really give estimates based off of observation. Like, you can't strap a gorilla to a bench press and expect him to go to town. You just can't do that. It's probably illegal and immoral in several circumstances. So let's recap. The bear has the advantage in size, strength, speed, defense, and attack. The gorilla has bite force. I think we have the winner here. Anyways, my name is Brupod. Thank you for watching my video. I will be having another video soon. It'll be a much longer one. It'll be more of a actual, like, formatted video instead of me just in my room at 9 o'clock ranting over my friends being stupid and calling me an idiot for picking the correct choice. So yeah, once again, my name is Brupod, and thank you for watching.